We are here in Athens, Greece, and this is a dessert video that we're doing. We are starting with the traditional Locomates. It is a deep fried ball. You know how much we love balls around here. So these balls are really hot, freshly fried, like covered in honey and cinnamon. This was $3.90. This place is called, there's some Greek letters in there. I think it's called Locomates. Not 100% sure. Yeah, there it is. You can see it. You can see it over there. This is really hot. This kind of makes me think of a South African cook sister. Everyone has like a fried bread in their culture, don't they? So this must be their version. What I like about it already is the fact that it doesn't seem too dense. Seems like there's a lot of air inside the ball. I love my balls with air and no, I'm kidding. Just I might take one of the ones at the bottom because it's more, look at that.
Look at that drippy ball.
So much drippage on this ball, you won't believe it. Did I say how much it is? €3.90. €3.90. I'm kind of scared I'm going to burn myself because, you know, hot syrup is never a good thing to very nice. Very crunchy. Very crunchy. But light at the same time. It's very puffy. It feels very puffy in your mouth. It's not difficult to chew it. And it definitely has a lemon note to it. I don't know if it's on the syrup or in the dough itself, but there's definitely a lemoniness to it. I am not a big sweet tooth, so I think I should film Henwood trying this because this is he's gonna froth over this.
So, if you know me by now, sweet things is my jam. I love sweet things, oh man. But I also love balls. I love balls, just sweet balls in and around my mouth.
As much as me?
As much as you. Sweet balls in and around my mouth, just like these kind of balls. So I just first want to make note, take note, shall I say, that this should actually come with a sensitive content warning. I mean, look at that dripping moisty ball. I mean, that should come with a sensitive content warning. Anyway, so this is as Karen's mentioned, deep fried balls. This is the quintessential Greek dessert, but obviously a lot of cultures have their own deep fried dough. I love these kind of desserts because they're simple. They're a simple man's dessert, and I'm a simple man. And what I love about them as well is that they're the perfect blend of sugar, fat from the deep frying, and carbohydrate / starch from the flour. And you get what I call the bliss factor, and it's just like, you know, your heart says no, but at the same time it says yes. Oh, good God, man. Oh, that is so good. Crunchy on the outside, soft and warm in the middle, dripping with syrupy goodness. So good. So in this place, this is their most basic iteration of Locomates. So in this place, they actually have options. It's nuts. You can sprinkle nuts on your balls. You can put chocolate or whipped cream on your balls. Just spat at Karen, sorry about that. Don't waste it, eat it. So you can put all sorts, you can put icing sugar on your balls, you can put ice cream on your balls, pistachio, ice cream, gelato, you can put anything on your balls here. It's fantastic. Like I love putting all sorts of shit on my balls. So another thing that we wanted to feature in the dessert video is Helva. Helva already the difference of Helva here versus the Helva we've had in Istanbul is this is much drier and much more dense and stodgier. So I'm sure none is correct and wrong. Just obviously different regions, different geography over hundreds of years have changed their style. This is a semolina dessert. This one has raisins. It's what it is that they've made like a slice with semolina, and then they've put a syrup over it, and in this case raisins and icing sugar. But I'm going to test it. So it's like a dense cake. It reminds me of the Indian. It's like a hybrid between the barfi and the laddu of India. But yeah, this is absolutely delicious. I love desserts, and this is just my jam. It's got butter in it as well, I think. It's got butter in it as well. It's an oiliness to it that only butter can achieve.
This is Katafi. We said Katafi, but then the Greek lady got really mad at Henwood and told him Katafi when he asked for Katafi. So it is a stringy phyllo pastry like this, and I don't think it's necessarily has to be sweet. So I've seen it before, not here in Greece, but I've seen it online in other places where it's Katafi prawns and things like that, where it's this stringy phyllo pastry, but it's really heavy. It's quite interesting because this is not how I expected it to be, because often these pastries, they have such a weird texture here at the bottom, which really makes me think of mochi. And if you don't know what mochi is these Japanese balls, usually filled with a type of cream, but the outside of the mochi is made from rice flour, so it's like really stretchy and it doesn't just melt in your mouth, you kind of have to chew it. So yeah, this texture really makes me think of it, because it has this kind of stretch to it, which is weird. But anyway, I'm gonna try and see if I can find out what the filling is, and it looks like walnuts. The initial bite is very, very sweet. There's also a few crumbed pistachios on there. The walnuts is they're very intense, so they've definitely been roasted. Yum. Very syrupy, nutty, sweet. Would go well with a cup of tea. As I always say, I could never eat this whole thing. For me, I reckon it could take me 5 days to eat this because it's massive. Henwood is looking at me like, are you crazy, girl? But it's true. It's for me, this is just too sweet personally.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous statement.
The walnuts though, I could just eat the filling. I would just pick out the filling and just eat that.
Just eat the filling. Leave me the filling.
You can have the sugary sweetness.
Okay.
But yeah, I haven't actually had much of the top of the whole point of the Katafi. I still want to say Katafi. Not as crunchy as what I was expecting. Not overly flavoursome either. But it adds a nice additional texture. So there are quite a few textures in here, like the mochi likeness at the bottom, which is the pastry that's been soaked in syrup, the crunchy walnuts. I'm just gonna eat the filling. But yeah, another good dessert here in Greece.
Interesting thing with desserts in Greece that we've found so far. So we're in Athens. You know, you don't just go to an eatery and they just have desserts all the time. You have to go to a substantial restaurant and they might have dessert on the menu. Most places that your average person eats with cheap meals, they don't just have dessert, so you have to kind of go to a restaurant or a purpose-made, like a bakery that does desserts and pastries and cookies, which is fine. It's kind of cool because then you know that the stuff they're making is their specialty. Because sometimes if you have them in restaurants, the restaurants might not really specialize in it. They just make it because they want to sell it. And, you know, that's fine. I mean, you know, it's not like there's an exclusive club to making desserts, but at least you know when it's in a pastry place, that's all they make, you know, pastries and desserts. So anyway, I'm just gonna dig a little bit deeper because Karen ate all of the nuts.
Oh, I didn't. Jeez.
There you go. So that's there's actually a lot of pastry in this pastry. So let me just get There is a fragrance and perfume that I can't put my finger on. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's rose syrup, but it's something, like an essence of something. And I don't know what it is. And I do love the chew of the stringy pastry. I really do love it. Fantastic. This would be great with a big bowl of ice cream on the side. I think it would be fantastic. Or a cup of tea. But yeah, very, very yummy. Very, very yummy. I'm going to taste the nuts just by itself. Definitely walnut. I think there's almond in there as well, but to be honest, I think it's predominantly walnut. And they put some token pistachio on top, which is kind of useless because you don't really taste the pistachio in like a powder form, but I guess it looks good with that bright green thing on the pastry. But no, Katafi or Katafi, definitely must try here in Greece.
Someone is happy.
So, as you know, sweets are my jam. And this one here, we've tried it the other day. No idea what it was. It was so good, we had to just feature it again. So, when you go to places here, bakeries, and I'm talking about your average bakery for the average person, not a specialty bakery or anything like that. Just any bakery that sells pastries and pies and cakes. I haven't seen one yet that didn't have what they just call an orange pie. I would say the Greek name, but I'll probably offend everyone with how shit I say it. So we'll put the name down here somewhere. But everyone refers to it as orange pie. So orange pie. And so we tried it. It's like, orange pie doesn't look like a pie. And it's not a pie as you know it. It's more of a dense cake. Like, look how dense that is. Like, I'm pressing, look at the bending of the spoon. Look at that. I am pressing pretty hard. And this thing is as dense as a neutron star. It's just so dense. Anyway, I'm gonna get a little bit. Look at that. So after trying it, I started kind of searching and Googling it. It's essentially a cake, but not just a normal cake. From most of the things I read, it is made out of phyllo somehow. I don't know how, but apparently it's some phyllo or phyllo pastry, depends on how you say it. Anyway, it's orange in flavor. You can smell that, and it is, I mean, it's probably microwaved, I don't know, but it is honestly so dense, so syrupy, and I'm gonna give it a try. Oh my god. So bloody chewy. So dense. The texture and mouthfeel is so awesome. And what's awesome about it, that even though it's drenched with this syrupy thing, it's not overly sharp sweet. So I think the sweetness comes a lot from orange. They actually reduce a lot of orange in the syrup. Oh, I could eat that whole thing by myself and eat more afterwards. And I will after. I'm gonna eat the whole thing. So good.
I must say, I don't have a sweet tooth like Hen would. Only for very specific desserts. But this, and I think the main reason why I love this is because even though it is very syrupy and it looks very syrupy, it's not very sweet at all. Ooh, it's windy. Hold on. Hold on to the dessert.
Hold on to the dessert.
The texture is just incredible. This stickiness in your mouth, but without being sickly and overly sweet. But oh, it's very messy. This really bothers me. Okay. The place that we got it from is called, I don't know how you pronounce that. I'm gonna call it Cool. Cool. Because the desserts are so cool from there that it should be called Cool. But anyway, we're gonna try galacta reco, which is semolina custard, a semolina egg custard that is in phyllo pastry, and it's also one of those things that are found in Turkey, Syria and Greece, so I'm sure everyone claims that they're the original or whatever, like, you know. So it kind of looks like a spring roll, and yeah, it's like a little pocket of phyllo pastry.
What's inside? What's inside?
You can't even see.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, it's dripping everywhere. It's dangerous. But even though, again, it's not very sickly sweet, which makes me like it, but I don't always love the syrupiness, also because, yeah, it's just so sticky. Everything is so sticky. But it is tasty. It is tasty. It's very mild in flavor. Like you don't eat it and you don't know necessarily straight away that there's a custard in there, because there's no, you know, the way that I know custard, it's extremely vanilla. This, I'm quite sure they would have made a custard from just the semolina egg and milk or something and a little bit of sugar. There's not much vanilla in there, so it's not overly flavoursome, but it's a very pleasant dessert. Like I can imagine this would be really nice with a cup of tea after dinner.
You think everything is nice with a cup of tea?
That's true. I miss my cup of cheese. I'm quite curious to know if people, if they make it at home here, if they improvise, you know, make it with a sauce or berries or chocolate or, I don't know. I actually quite like it like that personally. Probably because I do like vanilla desserts, but yeah.
I think you know the answer to that. I don't think...
It gets to me. The stickiness gets to me though. Like that is almost, if I was to buy it again, because we bought this and then we walked around a little bit, but we should have taken it home, or we should have bought it on the way home, because now I'm like, oh god, this is like my nightmare. But anyway, very good. Loving these desserts. So Henwood will fight with me over this, but I definitely prefer this 1,000 times over Locomates.
Blasphemy! So, we are in the last dessert of this video. And look, I'm sure there are lots and lots of desserts you can have, but one thing that really struck out at us was this chocolate milk, okay? We discovered it by accident because we thought we'd want to try something different that we don't get at home. So we thought, this looks like a chocolate milk. And then we were like, what the hell does that say? 100% something. So we put Google Translate on it, and I'm glad that it's 100% delicious. So it says 100% delicious, and it's freaking delicious. So we actually, the way we drink it is actually by accident. We put it in the freezer to try and cool it, and we forgot about it, and we took it out. It was partially frozen, and we're like, oh crap. We're like, let's try it anyway. And it was the best thing ever, because it's like a slushy.
Or like a thick shake.
Like a thick shake, yeah. Holy shit, it's so good. It's so good. It's partially frozen. I can't really show you, but it's partially frozen, like...
But it's
Can you see it? Oh, you can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It is kind of gross. But yeah, so it's kind of frozen. It's chocolate milk, and the packaging does not lie. It is 100% delicious. Like, it literally is 100% delicious. And look, apologies for the mess, but this is our last night in Athens, and we are packing. We will see you in Dijon.
Whoop whoop.
Dijon